Welcome back to Brands Hatch, the last race in the 2012 Pickup Truck Racing Championship, and Steve Dance is under pressure from David O'Regan. Past Dan Parker goes Pete Stevens, former champion in truck number 4. This is a bit of a landmark race for Pete, his 130th Pickup Truck Racing start, but there's Nick Grindrod from Carl Boardley in second place, and Nick Grindrod on his way to the championship title. Steve Dance down in third. We've still got probably about a third of the race to go. Tony Mumford being lapped in the 7 truck again, keeping it neat and tidy. And out of the way, Carl Boardley! Carl Boardley gets a big tank slapper on, loses momentum at the bottom of Graham Hill Bend, and now Steve Dance is coming through to reclaim second place and potentially the championship. If Dance can effect the pass, he'll be back in the championship lead if things stay that way to the flag. But Carl Boardley has recovered. That's the mark of a champion, how well you recover from the little errors and problems that you have, and Boardley's recovered superbly. This is the onboard shot from Steve Dance, but Dance will now know that there's a chink in the armour of Carl Boardley, and it could be possible for him to make further mistakes. Into Paddock Hill Bend, but David O'Regan is closing up as well and challenging on the outside line. O'Regan challenging for third outside of Paddock. Doesn't quite work for him. Now Steve Dance loses another place. The championship will definitely be slipping away from him. There he is in third place, Steve Dance. David O'Regan fourth place, and coming down Graham Hill Bend, wants to get on the podium. Past Tony Mumford goes Paul Tompkins, who's running in fifth. It's been a great drive from Tompkins. Good drive too from James Goldstraw. Down behind him, but 22, Nick Grindrod there, and Carl Boardley putting the pressure on again. Boardley, no matter what Nick Grindrod does, Carl Boardley always seems to catch up. Wider line as they come through clearways. And Boardley switches to the inside. Boardley's going for the lead. This could put Steve Dance back in the championship lead. Side by side, but Grindrod's on the wider line, a little bit more momentum. And I think that really Grindrod had talking about how they throw racing lines out the window, I've got to say there, Grindrod had the racing line, the correct racing line through clearways, and that gave him more momentum when they came onto the straight. So it does count from time to time. There's James Goldstraw in 72, passed by Phil White. Both of them down the inside of Tony Mumford. Dave Longhurst goes through as well. Pete Stevens in the white number 4. But look at Carl Boardley, desperate to try and get past Nick Grindrod. This is where he had that moment earlier on, and he glues himself to the rear spoiler of the 22 truck. Gets it slightly, well, it's not sideways, looks to the inside as they come up towards Surtees. And now Steve Dance is challenging again. David O'Regan in fourth. This is a classic pickup game of cat and mouse. We've seen the championship go to the last race of the season so many times. And Steve Dance, big sideways moment, tail out. Steve, this is pickups, not the drifting championship. And he gets it going again. David O'Regan still didn't manage to capitalise on that. And Steve Dance clearly fighting the Total Tyres grab loader truck across the line in third place. Luckily for him, he didn't lose a place. There's James Goldstraw, Dave Longhurst in 23, Pete Stevens behind them. Those guys down towards the bottom of the top 10 at the moment, but it's Grindrod and Boardley still there, and it's Steve Dance is going to be second in the championship the way it stands at the moment. Boardley's having another good go at Nick Grindrod out front. Grindrod in 22, Boardley is there as well. Look how close he's running him, and Boardley just needs to try and work out a way through. At the moment he's facing the outside lines. They come up to Surtees, but switches over. He's too far back, probably needs to start the run a little bit earlier on, and all this cat and mouse stuff between first and second is allowing Steve Dance to close in the 16 truck. Let's keep our eyes open and see whether Steve opposite locks this time. No, he doesn't. This is all tempered control stuff from Dance in third, but significantly he's got the speed. Here they come onto the main straight again. Nick Grindrod defending well in 22, and he needs to defend from Boardley. Places his truck in the middle of the circuit as they come down towards Paddock Hill Bend. Carl Boardley having a look again. Boardley with probably slightly less experience of Brands Hatch than Nick Grindrod. Looks to the inside, looks to the outside. Again, that hot rod technique of going around the outside line. And if he can do it, he will. But he's having a go. But is this going to leave the door open for Steve Dance? Boardley's being squeezed onto the dirt by Nick Grindrod. Nick is not going to let him have it. And Boardley's sideways and loses it onto the grass. Steve Dance back into second, back potentially into the lead of the championship, and Carl Boardley is down to fourth place. Up onto a podium goes David O'Regan. Wow, and now Steve Dance has caught Nick Grindrod. So Dance, if they finish like this, will take the title, and he wants to take the title with a win and beat Nick Grindrod. Very neat, very tidily. Boardley's recovered in 4th place. That was very physical racing from the pickups. Not going to say whether it was right or wrong of Nick to squeeze Cole Boardley onto the side of it, but basically, James Goldstraw getting involved there with Phil White. A little bit of contact as they came down Graham Hill Bend. I'm not sure what officials will have to say. Of course, that's the way we have to go at the end of the day, is listen to what the officials say. But basically, if you can't put up with a bit of rubbing, if you ain't rubbing, you ain't racing. That's what they say about pickup truck racing. It ain't going to break the truck for sure. And the fans standing at Druids have seen some side-by-side action. And also, you've seen the track. Cole Boardley's closing in on the top 3 again. Nick Grindrod's still there. Steve Dance second in truck number 16, looking for an unprecedented 5th championship title. At the moment, it's his. They've got backmarker traffic looming again. Dan Parker's going to be lapped for the 2nd time. Coming down towards Clearways, and Steve Dance wants the win. Nick Grindrod is still there, though, in 22, the Selly Oak-based driver. If he can take the win, as I say, he'll equal the most pickup truck wins tally with Gavin Seeger. Dance has 38 wins. David O'Regan with the fastest lap of the race so far, and evidence of that is that he's in 3rd place and challenging the 2 championship challengers. 1.2 miles to go. This is the view from O'Regan. 3rd place, Cole Boardley not too far behind recovering, but it's Nick Grindrod out front. Steve Dance, if he stays 2nd, and it looks like he will, is going to be crowned champion for the 5th time. But it's Grindrod leading them around Druids, and Cole Boardley's coming back. Now Boardley is going to be absolutely incensed at what happened earlier on, and he is charging. It's O'Regan still the fastest man on track though, but Boardley seems to be quicker now, and Boardley up it. He's back, 4th position. Steve Dance hanging on. Is he going to make a move? If it's a rash move, it could take both of them out. It would be Dance's championship unless the stewards decided otherwise. But it's Nick Grindrod in 22 that leads. Boardley's coming up for the podium. Outside line from Cole Boardley. Nick Grindrod, though, still out front. Backmarker traffic looming again. I don't think that's going to be a problem on the run to the line. Steve Dance is going to be champ. Boardley's 3rd and going for 2nd. Boardley could deny Dance the championship as they go up to the line. And Dance just took it. Boardley's off. Steve Dance goes into Boardley, who's across the track, thankfully not in the barriers. Grindrod takes the win. Steve Dance just by 0.02 of a second takes 2nd place, and the title from Cole Boardley, who finished his 3rd in the race. David O'Regan 4th, Paul Tompkins 3rd in the championship takes 5th from Paul Porter. Great drive from Porter to 6th. Anthony Hawkins 7th, Dave Longhurst, Phil White and James Goldstraw up in the top 10. Pete Stevens 11th from Paul Jones and Lee Rogers. Tony Mumford and Dan Parker completing the run as the fastest lap confirmed with David O'Regan. The 2nd time he's done that, 1st time on the circuits.
So our 2nd and final race indeed of the season here at Brands Hatch, and it's Steve Dance taking 2nd place, who wins the championship. Let's have a word with Steve. Grab a quick word, Steve.
Thank you.
Congratulations, mate.
Thank you very much.
5th championship.
Yeah, whoa. I can't believe the ending though, I've got to tell you, mate.
We'll let you crack on with the podiums. I guess you want to thank the team for the work they've done.
The team done a brilliant job all year, and we've done it.
Well done, Steve. Congratulations, mate. So here's Nick with the spoils of victory. 2 wins here at Brands Hatch, 2nd in the championship, but it was so close.
It was, yeah. When I managed to get to the front and then got a car in between me and Steve, it was the spotter was on the radio saying, that's it, just hold there. But really, to be fair, all we could do was win, and then fate was wherever Steve was going to finish, so there we go.
Cracking season's racing once again.
It has been all year. It's been really competitive. You can't say it hasn't. And 2013 is going to be another banger.
Well done on the 2 wins today and for entertaining us. And 2nd place in the championship. Congratulations on a great year.
Yeah, good year. Just shame about the championship, but there we go.
Thanks, Nick. All the
Cheers.
best, Cheers. Cole Boardley on the podium. You were fastest out of all the drivers consistently in qualifying, and you've grabbed a podium here. But I don't think too happy about the way things span out in that race.
No, I mean, pickup truck racing is just about giving each other a bit of respect and a bit of room, and it's disappointing to end it like that, really.
It's a close championship. Is that fighting talk to come back and have a go? We know you're capable of putting it on pole. We know you're capable of winning races, and I think ultimately a lot of people would say you're capable of bringing the form that you've had on the ovals and winning championships in this type of sport, at this level?
Yeah, I don't think we'd have any, well, we've proved that, we can mix it and, like you say, fastest laps here and there and quickest in qualifying on a few occasions. We haven't done all the meetings this year, which is what's cost us in the championship. We'll have to see. I mean, we'll definitely carry on with it next year, but whether it will be all the meetings or just a selected few, we'll have to wait and see.
Well, we'd love to see you back. Have a good winter break. Hopefully we'll see you back racing and rearing to go here at Brands in the new year.
Yeah, okay.
Cheers, Carl. Thank you.
Congratulations, Steve Dance, the 2012 a fifth championship title by 4 points from Nick Grindrod. Paul Tompkins third, great season for him. Phil White, the Rockingham champion, takes fourth place from David O'Regan and Michael Smith. The Newcomers Championship, Paul Jones, who finishes 9th overall, 23 point scoring drivers in the pickups in 2012. Next year, of course, we've got two classes. We've got the 2 litres and the 2.3s. It's going to be another stunning season from the pickup trucks. Well, that's it from the pickup trucks. Next time we're back here at Brands Hatch and an even more international flavour, the final round of the 2012 British Truck Racing Association Championship. The big rigs back in action on the Indy circuit here at Brands Hatch. Whatever you do, don't miss it. Join us there.